Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Monday, and all of our guests today, including Randy Ambrosie, standing by in studio, are sponsored by Basant Motors. With your next vehicle purchase, choose this or that. Choose between a $1,000 gas card or a big screen TV. Visit Basant Motors, BASANT Motors.com. And would you look at this? Randy Ambrosie and a friend. The Grey Cup have come to join us, not the first time in our studio, CFL Commissioner, since 2017. Like I say, you've been here before. Thanks for returning. How are you?
I'm great, great to be here. It's been a great day for the CFL and a great day for Grey Cup. Happy to be here.
Well, it sure has, and the CFL season begins on Thursday. But let's talk about the big news today. You've landed the Jonas Brothers as the halftime act for the Grey Cup right here in Vancouver, BC Place, November 17th. How does a person go about getting an act like the Jonas Brothers?
It's a lot of work. The music industry's changed so much over the past several years, in part because the old revenue model was album sales. So you had acts that wanted to do the Grey Cup because they got a ton of exposure, and that helped with album sales. But album sales doesn't drive the industry the way it used to. So now it's a lot of live performances what's driving their revenue model. So it's changed. But we had our secret weapon in this whole thing was Amar Doman, who's got a better playlist than I do, by the way, because he's a real music guy. And he had his vision to really, welcome the entire community, to make sure that the halftime act would really draw in, a whole new community of CFL fans to be attracted to Grey Cup. And he was incredibly passionate about it. But we had set a deadline. We wanted to get it done early. We wanted to make the announcement early. And here we are. We're early in June, and we make the big announcement right here in Vancouver.
So for older people like Rick and I, a possibility of Billy Joel or maybe BTO for me next year, is that going to happen at all, Randy?
You know what? I think I can't really talk about who we'll have next year, but let's say we're going to put those names on the list.
Okay, all right. They'll be on the list.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to Amar Doman landing 50 Cent? And we understand he's helped out with the Jonas Brothers, but landing 50 Cent. Lions have sold over 50,000 season tickets for their home opener on the 15th, Randy.
Well, it's, Frank, again, I'm not telling you anything you both don't know. He has brought a level of energy and enthusiasm to the, not just to the BC Lions and the province of British Columbia, but to the league. He's a big thinker. He's a passionate supporter of the Lions and of the CFL, and it's just been a pleasure to be around him. And it all creates this momentum, gets that flywheel turning. Last year we had one of our greatest seasons in league history. TV ratings up 9% in the 25 to 54 category, up 34%. Huge momentum in our three big markets. So so many good things going on, and you got to say, in good part to that energy. But it's not just Amar. It's what's happened in Toronto last year. Lots of energy. Yeah. MLSE really, came to play. Big boost in our attendance there. And, of course, in Montreal with Pierre-Karl Palado. And that doesn't even begin to speak to the success we had around the rest of the league.
I think I'd ask this question even if Amar was somewhere else other than Vancouver. But do the other owners feel pressure because of the big things that he does? And is that good for the league?
Well, frankly, again, it's a group of big thinkers. One of the real I don't think there's ever been a point in the CFL's history we've had stronger ownership than we have right now. If you look across the league and think about this group, from Pierre-Karl Palado, Roger Greenberg and John Ruddy in Ottawa, MLSE, Bob Young, Scott Mitchell, and Stelco in Hamilton. You've got Winnipeg that's just knocking the cover right off the ball. Yeah. You got the Riders. We don't have to say much there. We've got a process going on in Edmonton right now looking for, and we will, I'm confident, have great new ownership there. You've got Murray Edwards and CSEG in Calgary, and then Amar Doman. I mean, that's a lineup. If you want to hang out with really cool people, this is a good place to be.
Okay, let's talk about expansion then. I mean, you're happy with the teams that are currently, the ownership, attendance is up, TV numbers up, everything. Are you ready to expand to the Maritimes yet?
Yeah, we are ready to expand. We just know we got to get it right. And, in part, as you both know well, it in large part, it's about a facility that would be suitable.
Yep.
What the governors have made it clear, and I'm my mandate is to pursue expansion, but to pursue it the right way, be methodical, and I don't think it's just the Maritimes. We have talked quietly, but maybe not so quietly, about Quebec City being another potentially attractive market. We'll get there, and again, now we've got this amazing group of owners, lots of energy, a real vision for a bigger, stronger CFL, and I think we're going to get there. It just might take us a little bit of time.
Going to Lions games last year, I did see more younger kids. I saw, Donnie and I went to Empire, and we'll keep going to Lions games, but you got to get those young kids. Do you think you're doing the right things getting the audience younger in the CFL?
Yeah, one of the big advantages of our Genius partnership was the energy and expertise they have in that whole fan engagement world.
Right.
And in part, what they've done is build all of this. We've got our game zone, which is a bunch of free-to-play games, and it's all about getting kids involved and getting them to, talk CFL and be involved in the CFL. But one of the things I really love, you come to a Lions game, and Dwayne Bonneau and his staff have done an amazing job. The game day experience,
yes, it is much better.
And you know what? I always think you'll see a mother and her daughter, and they'll have the cameras on, and they'll be up dancing, and you can just feel the joy they're having being in that building. And when the songs come on and people are singing, it's just a passionate environment, and I think that's how you get that flywheel turning. And I think we've been doing a lot of really great things. The governors have continued and will continue to challenge us to do more, which is good. That creates a great partnership.
Okay, it's more than football now. August 31st in Victoria, a touchdown Pacific game between the Lions and Ottawa. That's sold out. Over 14,000 tickets sold there. What's the thinking going to Vancouver Island?
Well, again, in part, the touchdown program for us has been a great success. It was a great success on, in Atlantic Canada. We've had some really great games there. We think we've shown a lot of love to Atlantic Canadians, and that's an authentic love. We would like to be there eventually. But it was Amar and Dwayne said, how about the other coast, and how about Victoria, Amar's hometown? He thought, bringing a game. As you probably recall, when he bought the Lions, one of the things he said he wanted the team to belong to the entire province. Mm-hmm. And that's why right now, they've got this 50 community tour, leading up to Grey Cup, Touchdown Pacific in Victoria. He wants everyone in this province to feel connected to the BC Lions. And events like Touchdown Pacific will go a long way to creating that provincial energy around what is a fantastic football franchise.
I had to look this up, but the USFL and XFL have merged. I knew that story. It's now called the United Football League. I just realized the other day they're in their playoffs, so it shows you how much I care about this, because I've been around for a long time. We've seen the World Football League, the USFL, et cetera, et cetera. How much a threat is that group?
I've said all along, I think what we're doing really well now is we're worrying about our own business and, focusing on growing our game, focusing on doing all the right things to market, to the point earlier, to making sure we're attracting a new generation of fans, the work that Amar is doing here. We're always paying attention. It'd be a mistake to not say we don't and we aren't interested or we're not noticing them. But what the governors, who have all the credit to them, it has been about focus on ourselves, do a lot of things right, then reevaluate and do more things right, tomorrow. Yeah. And eventually that's going to lead us to our success. So, again, they're out there. They've got having their season. We know, we watch them, we keep an eye on them, but our eye is squarely on our league and our future.
Yep. 111th edition of the Grey Cup coming up. in Vancouver, November 17th. Do you remember the first time you got your hands on that thing? Was it 93?
It was 93. Yeah, I got to say when I'm this thing just gives off an energy that's unmistakable, and when I get in a room and our Grey Cup cup keeper Jeff McWhinney is with us, and he is the greatest Grey Cup historian of all and CFL historian of all time. But I get close to it, and I just can remember, and I don't wear my Grey Cup ring very often, and I don't because when I put it on, it's like a time machine. And I'm literally transported back to that feeling of what it was like to be named the Grey Cup champion in 1993 and being next to the cup, and there's so much Canadian history. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Well, pleasure having you in studio again, Randy. Anytime you want to drop by, you're more than welcome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's good to see both of you.
Best of luck.
Yeah,
in 2024 and
beyond.
beyond.
We'll see each other a few times this year.
Yes. Well, him and I go to a lot of games. Yeah. Right. But he only goes into a suite. You'll see me in the seats.
No. I sit with the blue collar fans up high, Randy, up high.
No, you've said before he's a bit fancy, and that's okay. Nothing less than he deserves, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Blue collar.
Thanks so much, Randy. CFL kicks off on Thursday with a Grey Cup rematch, by the way.